welcome. Coach Burnside here with you once again on the Coach's Corner. Today, along with me is Coach Cox. Coach Cox, say hi.
Hey guys, how are you?
It's a pleasure. It's always to have Coach Cox with us, and it's always a pleasure to sit here in front of the camera and share with our audience some ideas that come to us throughout the week as well. And today, this is our moment we call our light bulb moment. You know, what happened this week to us that really set us back and said, wow, that's something I really need to be more aware of or something I can apply better in my life. And so what I'd like to do right now is I just want to share with you what my moment was for the week. I listened to a lot of people this week. I actually ran into a great friend that informed me that they were moving because they kind of had enough of the neighborhood, right? Things were kind of starting to fall apart around them, and they just weren't as excited about living there. And they've lived there for 15-something years. They've lived there a long time. And I listen to other people start to talk negative about things and different things, and I get in that. I get in that from time to time myself. I started noticing things that are wrong, and so that's all I focus on. And what I learned this week was that, you know what? We can find fault in any situation. Then that's the easy part. But then what we start doing is finding proof to back that up. And what's crazy is about these same situations have existed for the last 5, 10, 15 years, right? These have been along here. But then we start finding proof. We start telling ourselves, oh, see, this is what's happening. See this, and then we start justifying everything. And then it affects our happiness. So I guess my point is this. I found out this week, I'm 100% in charge of my happiness. What I focus on and what I choose to prove determines my happiness. If I focus on the good and I find the proof in the good, it's all going to be good. Now, it doesn't mean I ignore the bad, and it doesn't mean that I'm oblivious to the world. It just means that, hey, I can be happy and I can have my focus. That's my choice. That's nobody else's choice. So, Coach Cox, what's your moment?
That's so funny, and I want people that are listening, we did not get together and plan this because my moment's very similar. It's kind of funny. So this week I was, being leaders, I think just like what Coach Burnside is saying, I have a new leader trying to train him. So I found my frustration getting there, and I was complaining to my business partner about things, and I was complaining what that person wasn't doing, all this things. And I think as a leader, you can relate to this. We start pointing the finger, everything that's going wrong, and blaming our other leaders instead of stepping back and saying, am I communicating more clear what my expectation is? Am I coaching better, which we talk about in the 3 pillars of coaching? Am I preparing them before I show up and start, throwing things at them? Hey, am I coming in and saying, hey guys, this is what I expect on Monday's meeting, get ready for it. So I found that even though I was complaining, I had to step back and say, you know what, it's my business. I have to take charge of it. It's not just because I put leaders in certain areas and they're not stepping up or they're not at that caliber yet. Just like what Stephen Covey says, or some of the great leaders, they say slow to trust is you keep the reins in. I love what Dave Ramsey says. He says, don't give the whole trust to them when you first have a new leader. Give them little bits and see what happens. And so sometimes as leaders, what we do, where the frustration is, we give too much. And we say, okay, here's everything, and we dump it on them. And this new leader goes at it, and they're not doing the way we want. What I learned as a leader over the years is little bits, and then have them return and report. And then as you trust them more, you give them more, and you give them more, and then you can step away and step away. So I think where I've made more my light bulb moment was Coach Burnside was I gave too much too fast because I needed to get stuff off my plate, but I needed to be very slow on that. And I hope that makes sense as leaders. Very little, and then as they prove themselves, as they're trustworthy with that responsibility, you give them more. So that would have been my light bulb moment. It's kind of similar to yours.
Yeah, crazy how that works out, right? Crazy how that works out. Well, once again, thanks for being with us. We enjoy these short clips. It brings us around full circle from time to time. It lets us see things in a different light. Definitely great for me and Coach Cox to share ideas back and forth because, as I just learned from Coach Cox, it's a great leadership tip. How do we just give them a little bit, trust them, build them up instead of drowning them and wondering why they can't succeed? So tee them up for success, I guess, if you will. So anyway, our happiness is our choice. Tee those guys up for success. As always, follow us on gmcacademy.com, and we'll see you again next time.